To go. I started my journey here in Florida, and today is my last Monday here in Florida. So it was nice to begin here and to end here. So I'm going to go ahead and set space for our circle. So just take a deep breath in and kind of feel in to what's around you, what energies are in your field, what energies are in your body. What are you holding? What do you need to let go of? What needs to move out of the way for that beautiful flow of energy from the root to the crown, from the crown to the root? Just being aware of what is in your field. So, as we come into this space with this new foundation of no more and not in our world, by our authority and sovereignty in the female bodysuit, we come together connected in heart energy, sisters within our divine families of truth, joy, and light. We invite the harmonics of the crystalline kingdom today. We receive new light of inspiration and creativity from our galactic teams. And from Gaia, we receive the energies of restoration and renewal. We are held today within the Guardian Circle protocol of protection in the pure light of all that we are and connected to. And so I'd like to welcome everyone into the circle today. And we will go around and presence ourselves in the circle by tagging each other. So, Arlie, would you like to start?
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday at 11 here. I'm in Eastbourne, New Zealand. And my name is Arlie. Pass it on to Sue.
I'm Sue Rooney. I'm in Issaquah, Washington. And are we bringing something to the circle at this time?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I forgot to add that. If there's equality, Arlie, as well, after Sue's complete, if you'd like to bring something in.
I'm going to bring in protection, not protection from the outside world. No, not protection provided by the outside world, protection from the outside world. So I don't get so jarred from my center. I listened too much starting January 6th. I listened to too much. And it pushed me so far from my center, it's taken days to get back. And I don't want to do that anymore. Oh. Arlene, you want to finish?
I would like to bring joy and growth. We're still in summertime here and things are just sprouting up and growing all over the place. And it's green and flowery and beautiful here. So I would like to bring that to our circle.
And now I'll pick Cinda.
My internet is lagging, so I hope I don't lose you guys. So I'm in Stevenson, Washington at our property at Skamania Coves. It is a gorgeous winter day here today. Gorgeous. So the word I am bringing in is loveliness. That's what I'm going to bring in. And I'll take Sharon.
Okay, Sharon Raji Maynard here, Woodby Island, and it was kind of sunny out there this morning and a little chilly, but beautiful. It's beautiful, of course. And I want to bring in joy and kindness.
Beautiful, beautiful energies coming in. So I am Susan. I am here in Treasure Island, Florida, a beautiful sunny day. We started out with this amazing mist this morning and was able to walk in the mist and the magic. And then all of a sudden the sun just came through, and that energy of pure life force pulsing through everything. So I would like to bring in the mystical and the magical with that mist this morning, and bringing in that beauty and grace of the sun just dancing off the water today. So welcome everyone. And what today, when I sat down this week, after Sharon, after your powerful, your 9-10 days of focus, I asked the crystalline kingdom, how could I follow up and support that with our circle today? And they wanted to bring the focus to a crystal grid, that you have set this amazing foundation and there's still work to be done. And so they reminded me that we can create a crystal grid in the third dimensional world, and we can travel as well today and create a crystalline grid in the etheric world and our spirit world with our guides. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both, how to create a grid, how we can continue to support the presence of change that we want to see in this world. The crystals for change are carnelian. Positive energy stimulates motivational and creativity. Botswana agate helps us to see the positive ebbs and flows of energy. So you can monitor what you're bringing in and what you're sending out and changing it at any time. Malachite works to invoke deep healing. And I believe as we move forward, as we create this change, that deep healing is going to be needed around the world as we connect. Rose quartz, of course, I think fixes everything. For me, that vibration of love and grace just can be put into any grid for any reason and bring healing and love to the world. Using jet, that energy of black, protects against negative forces. And so a component of protection, protecting that delicate lattice work of energetics that you're sending out through a grid process, is also important to have within your grid. And certainly other black tourmaline, hematite, shungite, whatever you're called to use for those negative forces to protect the work. And also the call of guardian circles as well. So bringing all your energetic tools to the grid process. So creating a grid, and a grid is just that energetic technology. They called it action, crystal vibrations, and sacred geometry merging together. And the grid creates this multidimensional energetic matrix, as we know how crystals broadcast, that expands through time and space. Size does not matter when you're creating a grid for yourself or for others. Grids are created for any intention, for healing, peace, neutralizing toxic dross. When they brought that word through, I was like, wow, that was pretty powerful. Toxic dross, and so much needed to be transmuted at times. Intuition and intention are keys for your grids. There's no limit or specific time that a grid can vibrate. It can vibrate as little as 24 hours. It could vibrate as little as an hour. I mean, it can complete its work within a matter of minutes. It's a matter of your connection and your intention and what you want to send out to the world. Grid can be set up on a background imprinted with sacred geometry. This is one of my new templates. Ooh, you'll see that. That I've been using to set crystals and set grids up on. The Flower of Life, Kelly's Metatron Cube, her copper tooling, is another amazing tool to use for your grid to vibrate out. I've been using the dragon energy this month for some reason. That was packed in my tub. It's just been the energy that's been shifting and changing. Choosing crystals, they're selected based on, the intention of your grid. You'll choose crystals for abundance, peace, change, protection, whatever, based on those patternings, based on that intuition. You can buy pre-made patterns, or I love just to create on my own. choose and create my own magic, followed by intention. After you've chosen your crystals and pattern, you select a keystone. Center goes right in the middle of your grid, stands firm and holds and anchors the energy of the grid that's you're creating around you. As you hold your high intention for your grid, you hold your crystals, infuse that in there. You can say something to the effect, if you're blessing a new home and you want higher vibrations, I program this crystal grid to bring abundance and blessings and the highest vibrations energy into my home, a room, a space, whatever you're intending to do. If your grid is intended to draw energy in and provide protection, you start on the outside of your grid and you create inward. If you are creating an energy to radiate out, you put your keystone in the center first and you place your crystals as you're moving in the spiral out towards your patterning. You can align your grids with the elements. If you place your grid in the north, you'll bring in the support of knowledge, calming, and restructuring. If you place your grid in the south, brings cleansing, flowing, and activation. If you place your grid in the east, it removes strife and motivation, allows new projects to be brought in. And setting your grid in the west, lets go, clears, offers growth and renewal. Cleanse your grid often. You can use a spray or your intention. You can replace your crystals. You can put a powerful clear quartz in your crystal grid and ask that to recharge and clear. But it's important to pay attention to the energy, especially if you're leaving your grid for a long period of time, to make sure that continue intention is re-energized, yet you're cleansing and you're moving the energy at all times. Reinstate your intention every other day. Work with your grid. It will tell you what it needs for support. You can even purchase some energetic spray. One of the crystalline harmonics products as well can be used to clear the energy. Whatever you would like to do to help remove and shift the frequencies. As we travel today, we're going to go out into the crystalline gateway, and you're going to create with your guides a grid. So keep in mind a keystone crystal that you would like to choose or that your team will choose for you. And it doesn't have to be specific crystals that come to you, because it could be properties of color. Because remember, crystals don't want to be specifically identified, but we need that commonality in their names to know what their properties are. So if they come into you as colors and properties, it's not important whether you know what their names are. It's more important to see what energetic sacred geometry comes in, what your keystone crystal might be, and they may have another mission for you today as well. So always travel with your guides wherever you're guided to, whatever they are bringing in for you today. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer about what we've talked about so far? Okay, then if we're all set, if you want to go ahead and close your video, get grounded, call in those beautiful energies. Oh, not sure what's going on. Here we go. So as we connect in to all that is, into all that we are connected, we see, sense, or know a beautiful bridge of light connecting, our guides joining us, our teams. And as we focus in, we see this beautiful crystalline gateway appear before us. This gateway is part of the Lyra star system. Lyra is the 12th dimensional stargate. It's the gateway to the higher dimensions outside of the 12th dimensional energy matrix. And as we travel through this gateway and we come into the energies of Lyra, there is a sacred library of knowledge crystalline knowledge held within the star system. You'll see the gateway, you'll see the doors, however they appear to you. This beautiful library of crystalline knowledge. Ask for permission to enter with your team and your guides. And they will show you the pathway through the libraries, the energies, the vibrations, the colors, the crystals, all held in this beautiful, beautiful library. Different vibrations, frequencies that are available to you to create your own etheric grid by setting your intention with your guides and your team as to what you would create out in this beautiful system of light. And as you create your grid, it imprints into this library, into this gateway, so that your grid will vibrate, it will radiate out what you are creating today. Choose your keystone, center. Choose a geometric shape, as simple as a circle or a star or a triangle. Create as you are called to by your teams and your guides in this beautiful library of knowledge, stored deep within your heart center and your memory. And when you are done with those beautiful intentions, beautiful grids, come back and join us in our circle. Love the way they use the flowers in the grid, being creative. So, I mean, all elements and all things are possible as you're creating your grid, bringing in the plant kingdom. I can't wait to get back home and take some roses and put them on the in with the rose quartz in the grid. Arlie, would you like to share first?
Okay. Went through the Stargate, saw the star system. And what appeared for me was one of those old depictions of what a molecule looks like, three-dimensional, with the lines going every which way. And in the center was hematite and malachite together, one on top of the other, and they kept turning over and over. Then there were various crystals and stones on the lines of energy, and they winked in and they winked out. New ones came, old ones left. And then the number of lines started diminishing as the work was being done. The center was replaced by a quartz crystal, a clear quartz crystal. And the lines that the crystals had been following became silver and gold lines, solid like the metal. It wasn't just that the lines of energy took on the color, it's that they became flashing in and out, going between that. And then sparks of light were then traveling on them. And that's what I saw.
Did you set an intention before you created, or did it just come in?
Healing, definitely healing and clearing some energies that are here in the house and my family.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I would like to choose Cinda.
Arlie, what is that sphere behind you?
That is a crystal ball. It's actually a neurofeedback device. It has a light program and you can set it to flicker so that your brain will attune to the flickering. Like you can set it for alpha, you can set it for theta, and you can set it for various meditation programs.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful.
Can I make a suggestion too?
Ah,
Cinda, before you start, let's hold this a couple, maybe a minute for Arlie to really hold that and do it after each one, because it's such powerful sharings we do. Is that okay? Thanks. I know you know how to do that.
I would love to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. Mention that I wanted to share the Divine Feminine Love, put our own grids together. I needed a disc that's about the size of a $50 that's rose quartz. And so I knew she wanted to be in the middle. So I brought the rose quartz out, and then I brought in my mind the strands of selenite wands radiating from her, going to rose petals, Susan. And so I had rose petals, and I said, wait, we're not supposed to be using any plants. And the rose petals were like, well, we're here. And then I thought, okay, so using the rose petals, and then rose petals out to moonstone, out to some celestial light, I think, or something like that. But then all of a sudden the moonstone started rocking, and the whole grid sort of raised above and rearranged, and a moonstone went in the center.
Your bandwidth is
And the
low.
selenite out to the rose quartz, from the rose quartz, so like where there's one, then there's two, then there was 32 or whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm beautiful, and it was in the sky and in the cosmos. So I'm done. How about Sue?
We lost you there for a bit.
So I was looking at Cinda's cabinets while Susan was describing the crystal grid, and I started to take off into a knotty pine forest of magic. And I said, well, that's not what we're doing today. Can we come back and just do crystals for now and go back to the knotty pine magical forest? So that didn't flow for me, but I did I got my lines on the paper. So it's a Merkaba, and the lines are for the crystals. And what I got was purple, aquamarine, and rose, 3 colors. And they go all the way around, and they go on all 3 sides. And I'm in the middle for my protection. And it's just me staying centered. It's not that I have to protect myself from the evils of the world as much as I need to just protect myself from allowing negativity to come in and disturb me. I know there's a lot of power in the crystals. It's not flowing for me today. So after this is over, I'm going back to the magic forest because it just started to take off like a whirlwind, and it was like, whoa, wait for me to catch up. So sometimes it's just I'm not in control. Okay, Sharon, you want to go next? And thank you.
Mm. Thank goodness we're not in control because we would create, who knows? It would not be pretty. It's good to be up beyond this physical world into that place where unity's always existed, it still exists. And so, um, so what I use the grandmother spray from the crystalline. I love that grandmother wisdom spray, so I use that. And as the gateway into the crystalline library, I love that. I love that prompt. And the stone that wanted to be center is one I found on the beach about a week ago, and I think I've shown it in many circles. But you see, it's like it's got lines and all kinds of lines, and just amazing, amazing. So I'm assuming there's a lot of information in there, and that's the center point, or the keystone. And the keystone is, I said, what's that center point? And they said, I'm the key to all that is. So to me, it was that key to the library. And this particular is the crystalline library, which I've never thought about before. So I was really glad for that. And the symbol that showed up was the triangle and then the inverted triangle that to me, I'm using as that masculine feminine unity symbol. And they said it also represents your role. So your information that you'll be accessing is in relationship to your role, and that symbol represents the role. So what I did is I just then created reality shifts that claimed what I've been really feeling the last probably week or so, and more all throughout today. Is to reclaim my storytelling mantle and my Avalon cloak, that Celtic heritage that contains a lot of information still for me, but it's all about storytelling and the gentleness and the kindness and the expansiveness that comes by telling stories. And then also a reality shift that claims the commitment and passion to that choice. And I did those reality shifts, and then they said, let that settle, because I've asked them to create a program to download it. And they said, then later today, we will put together with you the grid representing that both on a 3D, and then you go back and do it, use Susan's journey to do it in the other worlds. So that was my journey for today. Susan.
That was really beautiful, Sharon. And Sue, we did call mystical and magical, and so that's where that forest is waiting for you. And I love the way we always have that option to travel where we're meant to be, no matter what's going on, and that's just a beautiful thing. My grid had my keystone was a star in the center. My intention for the grid was to support the continued evolution for change. As I said, that spark of making a better world for my grandchildren has really lit a fire under my work and my connection to the unseen realms. So my keystone piece was a star, and I had purple and pink and green crystals all throughout, and they sparked, and they probably can't see because of the sunshine, but they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rays out, and they had beads of rose quartz coming in, and pink and green on the outside, and then the quartz was just broadcasting throughout the whole circle. Healing started my intention, and then they fine-tuned the support into that evolution of change. So I could see the matrix, the flower of life, imprinted in my heart center, and then this grid of change was just overlaid onto the flower of life patterning. So be interesting to see the cellular structure. I've had the opportunity this month to really witness and become my cellular structure over the last 30 days with the central sun and just the elements around me. So things have been like imprinting and infusing into my cellular structure. So this just imprinted along with the flower of life. So it'd be a nice journey tonight to see what amazing connections are broadcasting out. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. And if there's anything, open your mics. And if there's any questions or anything anyone would like to add to the comments or the conversation, please do.
Thank you for a really, really good focus and journey, Susan. I really appreciated it.
Definitely. This was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to journey to the forest, though. You've got me all stirred up. I'm like, there's some magical elves waiting for me.
Oh my
Elves,
God.
trolls, goblins.
It's a whole forest. It's just. Have you ever been to a knotty pine forest?
No.
Okay. Literally, it's the color like the wood, but there's a bark on it. And in a lot of the trees, you can see the outline of an animal. You literally, it's in the tree. And in my vision right now, it's like they're all alive. The spirit of the animal is right there. And it's there holding energy and wisdom and the whimsical that goes with animals when they are not, when they're just wild, but they're in their natural state of life. They just express life like a flower does. When they're not hunted, they just express this amazing life and energy and wisdom. And the whole forest, all these roots in the forest, they all are communicating, just like Susan was talking about earlier today. And it pulls in all the elements, and it pulls in, it's connected to all the minerals. So all the stones, the whole thing is a forest, but it's like a garden. And it is literally alive with magic and mystical and whimsical lightness. And it just exploded with life. So thank you for that experience.
Thank you for sharing.
Good place to journey.
Mm-hmm.
until we meet again. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Susan, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you when we meet around the corner.
Oh,
Stay well.
yeah, everyone's
Bye,
enjoy.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.